السلام عليكم. My name is Majid Usman Adan with matric number BF18001. I am group 1. My part of the project is introduction to technical engineering must pay particular attention to geology, surface drainage, groundwater, and shear strength of soil in assessing the slope stability. Soil slopes are generally four types, which is translational failure, rotational failure, ridge failure, and compound failure. Partial translational failure occurs in the case of infinite slope, and here the failure surface is a parallel to the slope surface. This type of failure can be observed in the slope of layered material or natural slope formations. In the case of rotational failure, the failure occurs by rotation along the slip surface, and the shape thus obtained in the slip surface is a curve. Another type is a wedge failure, also known as block failure or balloon failure. Generate a failure balloon that is inclined. This type of failure occurs when there are fissures, chunks, or weak soil layers in a slope, or when a slope is made of two different materials. Lastly, compound failure is a combination of translational slide and rotational slide. In this case, the slip surface is a covered at the two ends, like rotational slip surface, and flat at the central portion, like translational failure. That's all for my part.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shahid BFC3 and I will present the technique of slope stability. The slope failure that occurred on 6 December 2008 at Bukit Antarabangsa, Ampang, Selangor affected the nature of soil saturation and plasticity due to the excess rainfall as I mentioned in the project instruction. Technique slope of stability. For this case study, our group chose the technique to remedial the slope failure is retaining structure method. Retaining structure method are used to hold up against the pushing force of the soil mass. Gravity retaining wall, cantilever retaining wall, anchor retaining wall, contiguous ball pile, caisson, steel sheet pile, ground anchor, and soil nails are the type of retaining structure. For this method, it is quite expensive compared than other methods such as drainage and or geometrical method, but it is flexible to nature and the most adopted method in remedial work due to the flexibility in a constrained site, and it is suitable for this case study, and that's why our group chose this technique of slope stability to remedial. To stabilize and rehabilitate the fail slope, a constrained structure is essential. Our group chose anchor retaining wall. If the driving force is too high to withstand, ground anchor or other traction system can be used with the support structure. This method also includes protection of hard slope such as shotcrete, masonry, and rockfall. It also may reduce rainwater infiltration and prevent slope erosion of the slope-forming material. A slope will be relatively stable when its profile section angle is kept below its angle of repose. Angle of repose is an angle that maintains neutral to a safe equilibrium by the composing material of a slope. The angle deviates from differing material depending on compaction, particle size, and the nature of the material itself. Process of anchor retaining wall. A tie-back system is another name for anchor retaining wall. They are utilized in a combination with cantilever retaining wall, pile retaining wall, sheet pile, tangent walls, and other type of retaining wall. The tie-back system improves the structure stability or ability and help to equip the wall to take additional loads. When the load operation on the structure is high, anchor wall are constructed. Cantilever retaining wall, pile retaining wall, sheet pile, and other similar structure appear to uneconomical in this scenario. The tieback is attached to the wall on one end and driven into the soil or rock on the other to establish a good anchorage. Stable concrete structure are sometimes rammed into the tieback were drilled through the wall into the soil at 50 until 45-degree angle, as we can see from the picture below. After the hole are drilled, tight or strut are placed inside the hole and pressure grouted to offer more stability. The tieback system improves the structure stability and help to equip the wall to take additional load, as we can see from the figure below. The tieback system is drilled via a beam fitted between the file in the case of file retaining wall, as illustrated in the picture. Steel rod are inserted into the drill hole and grout with pressure grout, as we can see from the picture.
Assalamualaikum. I am Muhammad Zulimi, CF19011. So I'll be continuing on the application of ground anchor. So a ground anchor is made from a steel bar or tendon that is inserted into a drill hole with a diameter of 6 inches or small. After that, a grout combination of water and cement will be injected into the bottom of the drill hole until it is filled. Mechanical anchor systems and pile system can be used to build ground anchors in specific instances. Sort of ground anchor system to choose will be determined by the project size and complexity, as well as how deep the system must be buried in the dirt or stone. Firstly is slope stabilizations. The applications of ground anchors and anchored systems are depicted in the pictures. This force could be far more than that required to maintain a vertical excavations for a traditional highway retaining wall. Ground anchor wicks may be conveyed to the slope surface using horizontal beams or concrete blocks, providing the earth does not compress and can withstand the anchor reaction forces at the excavation phase. The horizontal beams or blocks used will be influenced by the cost, aesthetic, and long-term upkeep of the exposed phase. Secondly, highway retaining walls. Grade separations and depressed roadways, as well as roadway widenings and realignments, commonly use anchored walls. Anchored walls can also be used to build new bridge supports and reduce slopes from existing ones. And lastly, tie-down structures. Permanent earth anchors can be utilized to withstand vertical uplift forces. Vertical uplift forces can be generated by hydrostatic or overturning forces. This method is used in underwater applications where the dead weight of the structure is insufficient to withstand hydrostatic uplift forces.
My name is Daniel Sadiq Zarif bin Osman. My matrix number is CF190161. I will present about the long-term stability for anchor retaining wall. Retaining walls are made to last a long time. The concrete units are designed and produced to handle tough winter weather and long hot summers. They won't rot or decay. Each spring, complete an inspection of the actual wall. Take a few minutes to check out the wall, including the blocks and caps. Begin by looking for any movement in the wall from the previous season. If drainage or erosion problems are not corrected, some wall movements could occur. So here are some of the guidelines for proper care of anchor retaining wall. The area behind the wall that contains geogrid soil reinforcement or reinforced zone is the primary structural component of the wall system. Do not, under any circumstances, excavate through, drill through, or otherwise damage this reinforcement fabric without written approval of the design engineer of record. No digging or excavation shall be done within 3 feet or 0.9 meter horizontally from bottom face of wall or to such depth that would compromise the integrity of the wall foundation. Landscape watering and surface drainage above the wall should be designed in consultation with the civil and geotechnical engineer and performed in such a way as to avoid standing water, water cascading over the wall, and infiltration of the reinforced zone. And lastly, do not operate heavy equipment within 4 feet of top of wall face. The surcharge from equipment weight can push the upper wall units out, resulting in misalignment.
Assalamu
Thank you.
alaikum. In conclusion, construction design, geological circumstances, construction difficulties, and natural parameters are all common causes of slope failure. The building's collapse was caused by poor construction practice, casing doubt on the project construction supervisor's abilities. Geotechnical failure can be caused by a variety of circumstances, including poor building practice and natural differences like earthquakes. For this type of in-situ slope stability, crown encouraged with a small capacity appropriate. It's also commonly utilized in combination with concrete blocks, horizontal beams, and walls. Finally, engineering code of practice outlines the method that engineers should follow while performing any source of construction to avoid geotechnical failure. That's all for my part, and I think for the group. Thank you.